What's going on, everyone? Welcome, Rabid here, and I have two boxes here from Helium Deploy. And before we look at anything, just so you know, I will have a link to the product we take a look at down in the description. Now, I don't know which one to look at first, but Helium Deploy is known for having the cheapest miners price-wise so that you don't break your bank account when it comes to solo mine. They have one's for script miners, they got Bitcoin miners. I'm not sure here which is which, but today we're going to take a look at, I don't know, eeny meeny. Let's just go with this one because it's a little bit smaller of a box. The next time we'll take a look at the bigger one, and let's see what we got here. All right, so we got the one box here. Let's open it up and see what we got. All right, so it looks like we have a NerdQaxe with an extra fuse. So as we know, things have been blowing fuses. I haven't tried one of these, so I don't know how it is. But when things get hot, fuses start to, I guess, explode. So we'll see how this one does. It looks like this is the standard power supply that seemed to be coming with all these solo miners these days. There is a little switch here on the side. See that little red button? That is for your 120 and your 240 volt. Make sure you flip it to whatever you are using. This one's a little different as it uses this style cable right here versus the other ones with your standard C14 plugs. One thing I am noticing is this power cable here, to me, is looking pretty skinny. Look at that. That's like a string. So it does say, I'll see if I can find it in here, but it's 2.5 amps at 250 volts is what it does say here. So that's about 625 watts. If we come into this, we're using over 2.5 amps in both settings. As we can see, in 120 volt, we're up to 6.8 amps, and in 240 volt, we're cut in half at 3.4 amps, but that is a maximum of 816 watts if you were to add multiple of these. So it looks like if you plan on running multiple miners off a single power supply, I would definitely want a different power cable because this is very skinny and stringy. So I don't know why that is a thing with this, because it's definitely not rated, I don't think, for the full power of this power supply. Now, I could be wrong. Let me know in the comment section. So for some quick specs here, this miner does use 4 of the BM1370 chips, which is found in your S21 Pros and S21 XPs. It is supposed to be about 6 terahash at 150 watts at the wall, and is retailing at Helium Deploy for around $249. So let's hook this up, check the specs, and see how well it does compare, and see if it's any better or any worse when it comes to efficiencies. All right, so I do have this set up now, and just to go over what the original specs are. So it is listed for about 6 terahash at 150 watts. So if we actually come into it now, here is the dashboard. It is declaring we're using about 100 watts, and here at the wall we can see about 132 watts. So 32 watts more than what the power usage is in the software. Also, remember, the power supply and stuff does use power and stuff, but we're also less than the reported specs. Also, coming into the dashboard here, we can see 6.2 gigahash is what we are currently getting, and it says we're expected about 6.3, and then reported is around 6. So we are over 6 terahash at 6.2, and that's actually not too shabby. Now, coming in to my actual settings here, it is custom set by default, and it looks like we had a timeout. That's just the dashboard, don't worry about it. But it looks like we're setting a little bit overclocked at 775. This is what it shipped like, and the default is only 600. So I'm kind of curious, how does this run at the default of 600? So I'm just going to save that now and restart it, and let's see what the numbers look like at this point. All right, guys, so the numbers are in when it comes to this miner here, and I got them listed here at my tested miner section. If you come in, you can see all the tested miners as I update this, and here is our NerdQaxe Rev 6.1 BSB version. So on the default setting here, which I said I swapped to, we're about 4.8 terahash at 103 watts. That gave us 46.6 gigahash per watt here. and that is versus the spec. So here's the spec. It's supposed to be about 6 gigahash at 150 watts. Spec efficiency is about 40 gigahash per watt. So we are about 16.5% better than reported specs. So that's actually, pretty good here. Power per day is about 30 cents and everything is defaulted to 12-cent power. Now, what it shipped and came in the custom 775, it is 6.2 terahash. We saw 132 watts at the wall. It was actually slightly bit more efficient at 46.9697 gigahash per single watt of power. That's actually a 17.4% boost over the initial specs of this miner when listed here, and that just kind of disappeared on me. And again, obviously, if you want to purchase this miner, you can simply click on this link right here, which will take you to Helium Deploy, and here is that miner. Again, this is $249, and it looks like it's actually on sale right now. They're saying 24% off from the original $329. So this is one of the cheapest prices. I've been looking around, they're still like $400 to $500 depending where you look. So if you are looking for a fairly decent priced NerdQaxe 6 terahash solo lottery Bitcoin miner, Helium Deploy has you covered. Smash that link down in the description. All right, guys, so that does wrap up this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it, and if you were curious about this miner, obviously smash the link in the description. But I'm curious, what is your thoughts and opinions on the BSB miner from Helium Deploy, coming in pretty low price compared to a lot of the competitor places, but some people have been reporting a lot of issues from there. Now, I have been talking to Helium Deploy, and their whole motto is to try to bring you these miners for as cheap as possible so that you're not paying all that extra markup fee. So hopefully this video did help you out, guys. I will see you guys on the next one. Rabid out.